Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. Today, we have a returning guest with us today. She is a nail artist and educator. Please welcome Kreations by Kiki. Hello, Kiki, and welcome back.
Hi, thank you for having me once again. Super excited.
Yes, absolutely. I'm glad to have you again, once again. So, I want to go ahead and get started by asking. So, it's been over a year and a half since we last recorded the previous podcast episode. So, tell us about how life has been during that time, ever since that time.
Well, I can say, if I can sum it all up in one sentence, is I'm doing my best to adult in the most efficient and organized way possible.
Mm-hmm.
This year, especially in 2024, I am looking to expand my own brand to vending and exhibiting, showing up as myself, not so much with other companies, but kind of upping and building my own. And um, just trying to figure out the best way to show up for my audience. I am focusing on creating different types of content, and
Mm-hmm.
I am at the moment just trying to figure out, like I said, what my audience receives my content, or what way is the best way my audience receives my content, if that makes sense. Plus, I'm learning how to tattoo.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. So all of that outside of just just continuing to build my brand, build my business, raise my daughter, you
Mm-hmm.
know, regular life stuff, life in its lifing stage.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So, in what ways has your nail artistry evolved during the past year?
I actually would say that I'm actually trying to get back to my roots of
Mhm.
why I started doing nails in the first place, expanding my mind, my horizons to pull out a deeper level or more intricate level of freestyles. I started to notice that my work was looking very cohesive. And I don't like that. I want to be the unicorn
Right.
that and unicorns don't always look the same. They're not supposed to.
Mhm.
So I'm trying
Yeah.
to pull out colors, different mediums, using gels and pigments and anything else I can get my hands on to just kind of push my imagination to the limits that it could go. Other than that, I would say that my shaping, my stilettos this year have been chef's kiss. I used to hate doing stiletto nails, but I find myself loving them more and more every day. And that's amazing because if you knew me, I don't want stilettos. I don't want to do no almonds. Mm-mm. But having a difference between my structure of my stiletto and my almonds versus my
Mhm.
coffins, having that subtle difference is really, really the key for that. So
Mhm.
just learning to enjoy that process more.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So, I want to get into as far as nail education and business. So, how has your perspective changed as far as the evolution of nail education and business?
I can say that I pretty much feel the same way that we talked about the last time I was on this show, as far as just wanting myself to be that light that I would have liked to have in education anyway, because there's a lot of misinformation being kind of pushed out
Mhm.
there.
Yeah.
Um, and by misinformation, I just mean tips and tricks and knowledge that may not be educationally backed or
Mhm.
proven or whatever the best phrase would go for that. Just me wanting to give a bigger platform to those subjects like C curve versus apex and, you know, um, choosing C curve tips versus non C curve tips. I had a large debate on my Instagram about choosing the right tip to fit the right client. And I
Mhm.
just, a lot of people are just unversed on what I see as the proper way, or let me say the work smarter, not harder way to
Yeah.
do things. So I
Mhm.
just want to include that a lot into my content this year. So on my Instagram and on my TikToks, I am focusing a little bit more on kind of one subject and stretching that subject out in a number of posts or reels or videos or what have you, and
Mhm.
using that to my advantage of building my social media. Like we went back to the first question. My bad.
Yeah, right, absolutely. So I want to get into mentorship. So you mentioned a TikTok live that you did a career day event at an elementary school with kids. You also teach nail classes as well. So, how important is mentorship to you, and what are some of the things you want students to learn from you to take away from?
I think mentorship is super important, honestly. Let me say this. I'm on the fence. I'm on the fence with it because, like I said, when coming up, when I did it in the industry, I didn't really have somebody I could go to or, speak with, ask questions, have my
Mhm,
fears dispelled, or, my motivation risen or anything like that. So I had to
mhm,
become myself. And also noticing a lot of people will fall in line with kind of the wrong kind of mentor, if that makes sense.
mhm,
Someone who's not really for your growth, more for kind of filling their pockets up.
mhm,
I go around and I do pop ups at nail schools. Like you said, just did a career day at an elementary school here in my city. And the interest of being in the beauty industry is big. I can say that I was speaking to like three classes of fifth graders, and I want to say most of the class was very interested in what I was there to speak about, and asking about the money and is it a real job, and what do I need to do to attain these credentials so that I can perform successfully.
mhm,
And that was exciting. That was exciting to see younger kids being interested enough to ask these
mhm,
questions. They were asking me questions that when I go to teach adults, like they aren't asking. You know what I'm saying? So that was nice.
mm,
That was definitely nice to see and to experience. Um, as far as me or my view on, you know, being a mentor, I'm actively trying to figure out a way that I can have like a mentorship program, if that makes sense. Because I do teach, I
mhm,
do go live and help out a lot. So a lot of people would call me their mentor, but I want to actually implement a mentorship program where I take on, a couple of nail techs, whether it be newer or older nail techs who just want to, extend their repertoire or their
right,
resume, have you. But I want to implement a plan that I can work with a few people, you know, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and really, pour into them and kind of just bring up more of me, if that makes sense.
mhm,
Bring people that are willing to not gatekeep and willing to share their knowledge with the masses. You know what I'm saying? If there were more
mhm,
people like that, then I feel like our industry would skyrocket. We're already a multi-billion-dollar industry, but
right,
the camaraderie inside the industry itself, there are a few gems like myself and you and a few others that I can definitely think of off the top of my head. But as a collective, I feel like the cattiness and the drama and the egos and
mhm,
the what's the best word I'm looking for here? The entitlement.
mhm,
That's the best word. The entitlement that is just coming out of nowhere. It's really heavy, and I want
mhm,
us to become more of a cohesive, working together, one band, one sound kind of people.
right.
So I'm focusing on being the change that I want to see happen and helping others to be comfortable with doing the same.
Mm, yeah, absolutely,
Hopefully that,
most definitely. Yeah, that
yeah.
answered my question. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I totally understand. I totally agree also as well. So I want to get into as far as the Bronner brothers. So how was that experience going there?
We're talking about this past Bronner Brothers show, right?
Yep.
Yes, this was the first time that I've gone and had absolutely nothing planned. Not a class, not working in somebody's booth. I literally just went as a consumer. I wanted to go to just support a few of my nail friends, like Nails by Nay and Nail by Tammy, who I met for the first time in person there. Rudy from Royalty Nails, Beauty Asylum, Poochie. Like, I just wanted to go and support my people and also meet a few of my viewers and followers from my TikTok and my Instagram. So that was nice. It was just nice to just walk around and not have to rush to do anything. Like, I didn't have to bring any nail things. I didn't have to, you know, be Kreations by Kiki. I was just Kiki, if that
Right.
makes sense. That was nice. That was nice. And I also took the time to observe and really pay attention to how the booths were set up in the show, and also how people were doing their classes as well. I am looking to basically take in all of that I see and hear and all those senses and implement it into my own business. So I
Hmm.
know what's the best way to set up my booth when we go to a trade show and vend. I know what's the best way to seat and deal with technical issues like microphone and video and da 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 da, all of that, so that I can have a more seamless experience, or I can give a more seamless experience to people who come to my classes, people who come to my booth to purchase stuff. So observation was the main word for this show for me.
You have done nails for New York Fashion Week. For someone who wants to do nails for Fashion Week, what are some of the things one should understand in terms of working with designers on nail concepts?
Yes, New York Fashion Week. I have quite a few seasons under my belt for that. I unfortunately am actually no longer working with that same company.
Hmm.
So that's neither here nor there though. But I will say that if you are interested in working for any fashion week, it could be New York, it could be LA, Paris, Milan, Mexico, like wherever you want to go. You know what I'm saying? I would go in there with the mindset, first of all, before we even get to the working with designers and things like that. But I would go, because when you start, you're gonna start on a team. Um, and the lead nail tech is the one that works with the designers and gets all the designs and gets all that set up. So I would say if you're interested in falling into that category as a nail tech, be willing to be coachable and teachable and know how to work on a team. Because if you don't know how to work on a team, then that kind of makes you an outlier. We're going to go
Right.
for people who can work together and can
Hmm.
get, and no matter how much time you have to get it done, or no matter how quick the changes may be. Um, so being able to work on a team, I will say, is paramount to starting that whole journey in the first place. But once you get to the point of being a lead or being somebody who is working next to the designers, I would say the main thing is to be flexible.
Hmm.
Be flexible and be humble, I would say.
Hmm.
Flexibility as it goes to working with the designer and being okay that you're working with bringing the designer's vision to life, not so much your own. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your job is to take their ideas and their collections and, give them what they're asking for.
Right.
People I know, may disagree with, the set of nails or the color design, but it's like you have to be okay with that. You have to know how to go with the flow, if that
Right.
makes sense. Um, Being comfortable with your own ideas and implementing them into the designers and communicating, having great communication is also a thing too. Um, will have the designers be more comfortable with allowing you the creativity that you want to apply to that set. So
Hmm.
being creative, being flexible, great communication, probably top three.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So you host an event back in February called the 18-hour Nailathon. Tell us about that event and why'd you create that event?
Yes, my 18-hour nail-a-thon. Actually, the original event is 24 hours.
Mm.
And I first started this a few years ago when I was only just me working with myself in a suite because my schedule was packed. I could not accept new clients or squeeze ins or anything like that. So I decided to create a day. I base them around holidays, so Halloween, New Year's, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Mother's Day, whatever random holiday may be happening that month is where I would place the event, and that would just give the opportunity for people who had never sat in my chair or who couldn't find the time to come see me to come sit in my chair anywhere within the 24-hour period. So I'll get here 8 or 9 in the morning on Friday, and I'll work all through the nights, no sleep, all the
Mm.
way into the next day at 8 or 9 in the morning, depending on where we started. And literally, I'll be working in here for all through the live long night. People will come in at 2 and 4 and 7 a.m. just to get in. And
Mm.
it was a great idea. It was really highly successful when I started it. So now that I have other people working with me and my coworkers and things like that, I'm doing it more so to push for them and to have them have the opportunity to gain more clientele and build their confidence when it comes to servicing people,
Right.
especially on a walk-in basis, because of where we are being a suite inside of a bigger building where there's other suites, we don't get that much walk-in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So just a good chance to experience what would happen if we, if we get into that. I am also looking to um, get my storefront very soon as
Mm.
well. Just getting them into practice for those high traffic commission days that we're going to have when we have that storefront.
Mm. Yeah, it's really, really cool. So I want to get into as far as your nail product line, because I know you have your own line of acrylics. So have you
Mm-hmm.
ever thought about like doing like, gel polishes, nail art gel pots or things like that?
I have. I definitely have. I'm interested in doing so. I just got some nail liquid too. So I have my own brand of nail monomer now. Not
Mm.
for sale yet. I'm working on the logistics with all of that. So coming soon. But I am interested in doing a gel line. But I am very particular about my, let's say, suppliers or vendors. I want to find one that aligns with the things that I already love, with the gels I already use, if that makes sense. So,
Right.
high opacity, very smooth, very flush, very self-leveling, not too thick or thin. So I'm working with sampling things now actually to
Mm.
decide on what I want to go with to produce my gel line. So I'm
Mm.
interested. I'm interested. I think the main thing for me is finding balance between trying to do everything. So being a nail, having a nail supply line or an acrylic line, and keeping up with manufacturing and shipping and all that good stuff. Being a nail tech myself, being a nail salon owner, it's so much. So I'm just trying
Right.
to find.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely finding the balance is definitely key as best as you can. I
Mhm.
thought the Nailathon was like a nail competition or something like that. I think you hosted, I don't know, from what I've seen, I think you hosted a nail competition or something like that.
So I was a judge on a nail
Oh,
competition
okay.
in Charlotte, North Carolina, which is about 2 hours away from here, at Trap Beauty Bar.
Mm.
That was great. I'm actually looking to throw my own competition, and I will be taking place. I will not taking place, but I will be a part of managing a few other competitions later on this year. Shush, but it's coming. It's coming. But yeah, the Nailathon is just for walk-ins, for people to walk in, and then. But you know what? I want to play around with that in the future. So it might be for walk-ins now, and in the future it might be a nail competition. Who
Yeah, yeah, who knows? I want to get into as far as products. So what has been some of your favorite products as of recently? Like favorite products to use?
It's so hard for me to choose favorites. You asked me the same question last time too, and I said I don't know. But but I will say that I just did a video of a few of my favorite products with a few of my favorite companies. Um, Amnesty Nails Dehydrator. I cannot go without it. I just ordered some more. She has a sale. Go get it. Tammy Taylor's primer, Tammy Taylor's sanitize, her lemon or her scented alcohol, which is always a hit with my clients. NSI Nails plush brush, that's a hit as well.
Mm.
Everybody wonders where I got the manicure brush from because it just looks so soft, and it is soft. Go get it. Um, but as far as products for like nail art and nail things like that, Profiles Backstage and Dulce Nail Sprinkles. Mm, my top ones. I want to say they're my top ones. And I say that because I have so much glitter and so many nail art things like metal embellishments, stickers, decals, mylar, pigment, chrome. Uh, Hold on. I got one right here. My pigment palette. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so many things that I have from both of those companies that I use all the time.
Hmm.
And same things I'm trying to kind of mix up. So I stopped doing the same designs every time with the same products. So I love them all. But me, I'm number one. This
Absolutely.
one. This one.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. What are some like your favorite like nail art brushes?
Now, are we talking about like liner brushes?
Hmm.
Profiles Backstage came out with a new. You know what? It's so funny. I'm sitting right here because I can pull them out. Came out with their 5-piece nail art brushes that I find myself using a lot. Other
Mm-hmm.
than that, Ugly Duckling has a really fine mini detailer brush that I like to use,
Mm-hmm.
and Jeweled by, I don't want to screw up her last name, Jeweled by Jasuda in Charlotte, North Carolina. She also has, oh, here we go, also has a line of brushes that I go for too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm my top ones. But I will say that everybody is pretty much selling the same things out here, kind of, lower or higher on the quality level, but you got to decide what you want to or who you would like to support more so over than what exactly the product is. Product matters, don't get me wrong, it does. But
Mm-hmm.
if I find the same quality of brushes from, 5 different people, it's really going more so to who do I want to support, who do I want to
Mm-hmm.
promote. Once people see me
Right.
using them, other people are going to go use them, and as long as they align with my, what's the word I'm looking for here? Mm, I know English sometimes. I promise I do. Mm. I don't know this word I'm looking for here, but with my goodwill, with my, what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
my positivity, you
Mm-hmm.
know, they're aligning with that. Then yeah, I'm supporting all day. I'm gonna try it out at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nails by Nicole J. She's a black nail tech. She has her own line of brushes that are really good. There's another brand called Model Ones. They do very good fine detail line of brushes. Beatles is kind of the same thing too.
You know what? I know Nicole because I know Nicole. I've spoken with Nicole quite a few times, and I know I have not made it to buy her brushes, but I'm gonna do that this week. So I can add her in my line of brushes. I can just pull out and be like, yes, Nicole J's brushes are here as well. So thank you for reminding me to do that. I'm going to do that.
I want to go ahead and push forward and talk about the nail industry a little bit more. So, what are some things you like about the nail industry, but also what are some things that the nail industry could be improved on?
I think we actually kind of touched, or I actually kind of touched on this as far as the cattiness and the drama and the
Hmm.
entitlement, the jazz. So that's the cons. But as far as the pros go, I am in love with the ability to just be yourself and be open with your creativeness and you know, your mind. I am the unicorn. So just me being able to be me and be celebrated and be loved for that
Hmm.
is great. I love to see people love being who they are, especially in our industry. So people like Lavette from Beauty Asylum, Fly Nye,
Yeah.
Dallas Alexa, um, Hirsch in Charlotte, like just so many people just living themselves so loudly and proudly. I
Right.
adore it because that is what I'm trying to do or what I do all the days of my life.
Hmm.
So that's my favorite thing in the nail industry. And just being able to, I don't know if this really counts for this question, but my favorite thing about being a nail artist is just being able to create this happiness and these smiles and this joy and this positivity for anybody that, comes
Absolutely.
with
Yeah.
in or another nail tech or a teacher or whoever it may be. I just like
Hmm.
bringing joy. I like there being joy floating around the room.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely cool, and I love how you do bring the joy within what you do and things like that, and I love how you're like authentically yourself, wearing big bold colors, and that's really really cool. So I like how like that's your brand, that's what you stand for.
Yep. Yep. I love it. I'm getting my hair recolored very soon, so we'll be back bright and popping in a few weeks.
Yes, indeed. So I want to go ahead and really talk about this topic. So you mentioned on a Threads post recently, quoting, "I'm so over being used in this industry." Now, could you elaborate on this, and why do you feel this way in regards to the nail industry?
Well, I was emotional that day. I lie. I was emotional that day. I was just feeling really down because I was reflecting on how many relationships, whether it be business or personal, that I have, experienced and come into and that have kind of just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And reflecting back on those, just thinking like, well, dang, you came in, I came in, you seem to be exactly how you present yourself to be, as I was myself, but it turned out, towards the end, after you got what you came for, whether it be my time or my energy or my knowledge or my education or my techniques or whatever it is, after you get that, you kind of just leave me high and dry, or with nothing. You don't give me any, you don't um, give me anything in return. And
Right.
I don't think looking for reciprocity, but it definitely stands out when I am in a time of need, whether it be emotionally or financially or anything like that, and how easy it is for me to give and, not think twice about it. But it's like when I need help in any shape or form, it's crickets. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
and so from friends to business to like people that used to work in my shop with me or people who learned from me in the past and are kind of going around now making it seem like they taught themselves and like, oh, you know what I'm saying, like I just was never a factor or anything like that. So I was definitely feeling that day, so I made that post basically just to get it off my chest. And I did feel better after that. I will say that, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
focusing more on, I guess, making sure that I'm okay in the end with everything and having
Mm-hmm.
more discernment and acknowledging and seeing when it's happening actively in the moment and removing myself and, moving accordingly with whoever that may be. And that could be, as we're talking even as far as like Fashion Week. Like I'm no longer working with the company I was working with because I did not feel the positivity that I needed to feel, So
Right.
just removing myself from any location, any event, anything that is not aligning with my goals or aligning with me as a person, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm better now, though.
Yeah, that yeah, that's great to hear. And it kind of reminds me of like when I interviewed Miami Ashley because she felt the same way.
Hmm.
She even said, she felt she was being tokenized, being used, and how it affected her mental health. And this leads to me to this other question: do you feel that Black women are given credit in the nail industry or not? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think we're given as much credit. I don't even think we're given half the credit that we should be getting, honestly. And I see that's really noticeable when it comes to, for example, like my classes. I give an awesome class, like one of the best classes. Not to toot my own horn, but I give one of the best classes I feel like out there, and that's after I myself have taken quite a few classes with quite a few people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I just noticed that people will kind of run and be more willing to spend their hard-earned money on somebody who's not of my color to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to, what I'm saying, say the wrong thing here, but um, I've just noticed that people are kind of gravitating towards people who aren't black, if that makes sense. Even if
I get
our
what you're saying.
our knowledge is the same, if not better, or are given out the same, if not better than others. So I just want to again, and that's something else as well. Um, I myself am going to put more of a highlight on Black creatives, especially using my platform because I feel like like I said, I'm being the change I want to see in the world. Period. So
Agreed.
yeah, so just giving more of a spotlight to us, if
Yeah.
that makes sense. Doing more events, doing more, you know, lives and designs and things that really showcase our love for ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that like, I did a video about Black women's impact in the nail industry, and Nail Pro magazine reposted what I said. So shout out to Nail Pro, because definitely a lot of these trends, we set the tone for, whether it was the curved nails, duck nails, the goat nails, the character art and things like that. A lot of these trends we set, and so I definitely believe, and I can agree that Black women deserve more credit, a lot more credit in the nail industry, and definitely with in regards to people going to somebody who is non-black, it has something to do with hype and sensationalism because, like, especially the following, if you got a lot of the following, then people will go to you more so than it's with someone who don't have as much of the following, like 100K or or 1,000 or something like that. You know what I mean? They're going to gravitate towards someone who has the highest amount of influence, and that's what I've noticed too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But I feel like I'm inching towards having that amount of influence. But the fact that I could still see that, if that makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like it's discouraging to say the least. I will say, but I'm working, like I said, to offer more, even though I should not have to convince. I'm working to offer more to kind of put the spotlight on what is available and what you're going to learn and what you take away, and the people who have come to past classes, how they're doing now. Basically the success stories, people who actually came, took the knowledge, and are implying it to, I mean, applying it to their everyday
Mm-hmm.
doing. Definitely something that can be worked on. Definitely something that um, needs to be fixed. I don't see it being fixed, anytime soon. But if people like you and me continue to do what we're doing and showing that spotlight and showing that, giving that platform for us to, show the world what we can do, then I feel like we will make it there. I want to make, I want my daughter to feel like she has that encouragement, like she has that, that spotlight, and that it's not such a discouraging thing for her, if that makes sense. She's 13 now.
Mm.
14 is when she can go to nail school. So next year she'll be enrolling in nail school, and you know,
Cool.
I see good things, great things for her. I'm building great things for her to have.
Mm. Yeah, that's absolutely really, really cool. Now, where do you see yourself in your business in the next 10 years?
Speaking of, I see that storefront that we were just talking about. I see not just a storefront, but I see my suites, my beauty suites happening. I see my nail brand having a storehouse, having an actual manufacturer, having these big, like basically what Not Polish has done for their brand. That's how I would like to scale my own. Um, and then me, of course, just teaching my daughter and showing her how to be the great owner that I know she can, and kind of inching away from, you know, doing everything all day, every day of my life. I want to, within the next 10 years, I want to get down to my retiring time,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. I would really love to just kind of live off the things that I'm building now
Hmm.
and be comfortable.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Now, how have you been able to balance being a mom, being a businesswoman with like life and mental health?
I'm still figuring that out,
Hmm.
honestly. And what's great, well, it's not great, but what was great for me to find out, because at the nail panel at the Bronner Brothers show, which had like Poochie, Terrence Terry, Platinum Pinkies, the Nail Lady, um, and Beauty Asylum on the panel, I asked them, what they did to balance everything, and they said they're still figuring it out. And these are people who've been in the industry for a long time. So I feel better about not having it down packed, but I can say that I'm trying to kind of do combo moves, if that makes sense. So bringing my daughter here with me, giving her, a job to do, paying her, that counts as doing, taking care of my business, and mommy daughter time.
Right.
Um, Setting aside days. So actually, which is why I'm not dressed up like I planned on being. We have a boxing lesson at noon, and we do that every Sunday. We do a boxing class together. So that's my self care, as far as working out, and mommy daughter time as well. So I'm finding that comboing them together is helping.
Hmm.
But listen, when you figure that out, or if somebody tells you the answer to that, call me. Let me know, because it's a work. For real, it is really a work in progress. I would love to know how everybody, kind of balances their professional and their personal lives because it's a task.
Mm. Last but not
You
least,
think? Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna end that with you think working for yourself, it would be a lot easier and you would have a lot more time, to do the things you want to do, but it's actually not. Like I went from working and I haven't had like an actual job in a long time, but I still remember, you get up, you go to work, you get home and you're done with work, right? No, it never stops. Work is 24/7, 365 all the days of my life. So, yeah.
Last but not least, where could people find you on social media? How can people support you and your business?
I can be found under the same name, Kreations by Kiki, on all social media platforms: Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat. Well, not Snapchat. I fibbed, not Snapchat. But everything else I can be found under Kreations by Kiki. I would definitely encourage you to subscribe to my YouTube because I'm definitely working on that this year and building that up. But TikTok is a major thing until if and when they ban it. So hopefully, fingers crossed, they don't do that. But TikTok is a major thing. Instagram as well, Facebook, even Pinterest. So come find me. I'm findable. I'm Googleable. Google me.
Well, thank you so much, Kiki, for jumping on. Your work is absolutely great. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep inspiring others and spreading positivity. I really enjoyed our conversation and also having, us to catch up after over a year and some change. So this is really cool. Glad to have you back.
Thank you so much, Asia. You have been a blessing and a pleasure as well. I'm just, like I said, I was so excited that you reached out and asked me to do it again. I will be available whenever, girl. Just call me.
Well, thank you so much. Take care.
Bye.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to click the bell for notifications. Also, follow me on my social media platforms and be on the lookout for more interviews to come very soon. Take care, stay healthy, and stay beautiful. Bye bye.